Welcome to Van Lathan's The Red Pill, where we give you the brutal honesty of truth. Today's guest, a lot of brutal truth, DeRay Davis. DeRay Davis, actor, comedian, overall fun guy. We talked to him about, he goes very, very deep into his feelings about the late John Singleton. We taped this basically the same week that we lost our brother John. Rest in peace to him. And DeRay had a lot of thoughts, and he wanted to make sure that he told the world about what a great man he felt like John Singleton was, and he did that on the Red Pill podcast. We also talked to him about the changes in comedy, how stand-up comedy has changed from when he first started doing it to when he was doing it now. We also talk about the infamous two-girlfriend situation, which he always gets asked about. He's almost tired of talking about it, but obviously we have to talk about it on the podcast today. And DeRay also tells us something else. He says there is one category of comedian that he is the best in the world at. In this specific category of comedian, no one can mess with DeRay Davis. He is the top guy in this specific category. He's going to tell you guys about that. Very, very fun podcast with DeRay. Funny man. Insightful brother, though. A very insightful brother. Can talk about all types of different things. We talked about the big Hollywood games. We talked about stand-up comedy, rap, all of that stuff. Love being around this guy. Love talking to him. So pop some pills. We're going to get into DeRay Davis in a second. But before we get into DeRay Davis, normally I do PSAs and I let people know. I give different messages to people, and these messages are, I try to be uplifting. I try to be insightful. I try to help you guys out and tell you the world as I see it. This one's for me. Stop sending me rap music. That's it. Stop sending me your raps. I love hip hop. I love to see brothers get on. I love to see brothers come up and get money and get all the stuff, get out of poverty, get their families together. But guess what? I can't help you with your rap career. I wish that I could. One day, I might be able to. That day is not the day. That day is not the now. Do I know people in hip hop? Yes. When I send them your rap music, do you know what they do? They ignore it. But every day, every single day, I go into my DMs, and it's never things that other guys get in their DMs. Well, I would imagine my friend Jesse Williams' DMs looks like. That's not what my DMs look like. My DMs look like, yo, Van, I got a hot project dropping on the 3rd of the month. It's got 72 tracks produced by me on Fruity Loops. I need you to listen to all 72 tracks and tell me what you think. My nigga, I can't help you. By the way, that's true. It's never listen to 6 tracks and tell me what you think. It's like, yo, Van, seriously, I got this DM for real. Yo, Van, you know how Pac put out a double album? I'm putting out a quadruple album. And I want you to listen to the whole thing and tell me what you think. And then, how about this? What happens when you don't listen to it? Nigga, I know you ain't listened to my album. You're not really trying to help the black man. You're not really about what you say about. Because I didn't listen to your shit, literally people hit me up and then like, yo, come out, do something for the kids. I got a black-owned businesses. Those are the people that I'm trying to help, but like, I don't know how to help. Help me help y'all. What do y'all? I don't know how to help the rappers. I can't help you. It's like I can't do it. Like a lot of times, there are dope rappers that I try to help. I send that shit over to them. Nigga don't care what I think about that. Listen, all the brothers out there that are rapping, trying to get your career off the ground, bro, I really salute you and I hope that it gets cracking. I'm telling you, don't send it to me no more. Okay? Not at this particular time. Maybe in a year, I'm doing something else. I might be able to kind of give you that guidance or whatever. But for right now, just please, man. Please. I'm begging you. Stop sending me that shit. Please? Don't send me that shit, man. All right, guys. I love y'all though. I hope it works out. But unfortunately for you guys, I'm not fucking Steve Stout. It's just not who I am. All right, DeRay, send your shit to DeRay. Anyone who wants to become a rapper, DeRay was in with Kanye West early on. Send it to DeRay. Send it to DeRay Davis. Send it to DeRay Davis and Charlamagne. Those two guys, they'll put you on. Pop some pills. Let's get into this. We out. Oh, man. It was about to happen again, y'all. Rich nigga alert.
What?
The watch.
It's called free shit.
Damn. Every time. This happens every time, man. Every time we get a successful person on the podcast, I'm reminded just how broke I am. Let me see the watch. Don't hide the watch.
I'm not hide. I don't hide the watch. Well, first, I mean, maybe it's a natural instinct to hide the watch because that's Chicago in me. You know, real shit. You go places, you look around, you might take the watch out, put it in your pocket.
Yeah, because people, it draws attention. The watch does.
Yeah, but if you stand around people with bigger watches, it don't really matter. You know what I'm saying?
That's the secret.
You stand behind a TI, they watch they jewelry, you look like you about to,
right.
Are you doing bad?
But when you're around broke niggas like me,
well, you're not gonna trick me with the broke niggas. So I won't be fooled. You're doing the white broke thing. Where it's like not really right. It's in property. You can't because you can't show up to the club with your property.
It's true.
Imagine white people can bring their buildings.
Like all of their land
in the club, but just show off and just flex on them. You know what I'm saying? Just sit there
with it around a chain, like a deed or some shit like that. Yeah. White people, give it up for DeRay Davis, man.
Yeah, what's up?
Pleasure to have you on the podcast. Been a fan for years. We rolling. I gotta ask you about something. You're on Snowfall.
Yeah, I am on Snowfall.
A great show on FX, and so we would be remiss to not start this podcast by asking how you feel. And just your thoughts on the passing of an absolute legend and titan, not only in this city, but in the film industry, period. John Singleton, the man that we lost.
Yeah, I feel like to enter the conversation, I'm going to start with John as a whole. Just say what John did. Like, we know what people say he did, but just being upset about where black cinema was going is what ignited John. I forgot what movie I was doing, but I believe it was Imagine That. I can't remember which director I was with at the time. I don't want to fuck up right now, but and he told me a story about John watching a screening of Colors, and he was sitting in the audience, and he watched the screening of Colors, and at the end he stood up and was like, "This bullshit. This ain't shit.
Right.
I'm gonna make a real sound." He stood up, and it's a white director telling me the story the way he said, and everybody looked at John like, everybody stood up clapping about Colors, and he said, "That's bullshit. That ain't what LA is. I'm gonna make my own movie, make a real movie." And I never told John I knew that story because it just wasn't important, you know what I mean? But to hear all these different stories like that about how much fire he had as far as the way he wanted his stories told.
Yeah. And
so when I finally got a chance to meet John, what I thought was meet John, me and Kevin Hart were real close, and it was at a premiere for Soul Plane, I believe.
Okay.
And
infamous film there, Soul Plane.
And John, I was like, "Oh, that's John Singleton." And I was like, "John," I reached for him, and he like reached past me, and I was like, he just went past me. I said, "Damn, that's kind of, foul, man. I respect his work. I know he is." But the guy with him knew who I was. He was like, he's like, as a comedian, he was like, "Oh, DeRay." He's like, "Don't worry. He just didn't see you."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "He ain't see me." I was like, "What the fuck?" I stood right next to him. He's like, "Nah, my nigga, he ain't got his glasses on. My nigga didn't see you." Like, he really did not see you. So he told John this story. He told John he said, "DeRay is very funny." So John eventually came to a show. And that was, oh man, it had to be over a decade ago. It was a long time ago, man. I don't know how long ago. It had to be over a decade though. And John saw my comedy and was like, "Oh shit, this is the most rude shit I've ever seen." A light-skinned, exact words, "I never seen a light-skinned nigga talk like this on stage." He's like, "You fucking crazy." So John from that moment forward, John started looking for stuff for me. And I'd never believed nobody, because Hollywood is Hollywood. It's always like, we could say, you act in Hollywood, this and that, but you want people to act Hollywood because you want to know you're in Hollywood.
Yeah.
People who are
That's interesting.
People in great places never say, you never hear Denzel tell somebody to act in Hollywood.
Right.
Or Will Smith would never say, "Oh, you be in Hollywood." He's in this is, and you want to be in that seat. You would love to trade places. So in my mental, me just getting here, I was angry about a lot of stuff at home. Angry about my mom's stuff. Angry about my family stuff. Never really being nice. I don't know if I met you back then, but I never was really the nice guy out.
Actually, no. The weird thing is, you always show love.
I mean,
Yeah.
when I feel genuine spirits around
you
me,
always show love.
somebody
always.
I know that's gonna be like, all right, they get it. Like they get,
Yeah.
hey, I get when I see you. If I see you with your daughter, if I see you, your mind could be somewhere. You ain't got to be with. You don't have to be with somebody physically for them to have an attachment to your mind. Like I could be somewhere, my mom be with me, getting on my nerves, and not in a horrible way, but in a way where everybody just needs something for the moment, and I don't have it the way they think I have it.
Yeah.
So while I'm out, people thinking I got it because I'm
Right.
spending my last $1,000 on a bottle just to celebrate me.
Yeah.
You know, a nigga car hitting around the corner.
Yeah.
Because I don't want the people to come get it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And John, I'm just saying, John looked into, he saw past all that. And he'd be like, I see star in you. I see it. So just knowing what he was accomplishing and what he was doing, I wanted to be on that path. Even though if it didn't, even if I could be an extra in some of the situations,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And just in a room. And that's how I think we just became real cool. That and talking about other shit that, you know, I would never talk about on the podcast.
He was just a real dude.
Real dude. I just wouldn't talk about it because for the moment he might be feeling a certain way. Then I'll see John talking to the guy, talking to somebody. I'll be like, oh, they must have fixed whatever John was feeling. Because John just was about to kill him, motherfucker.
Right.
And but he always was passionate about more of the project than it was the true gangster personality. Like he felt like when he seen Ice Cube, he knew Ice Cube could play that part because that's how he felt Ice Cube was to that film. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he adopted people all the time. He always adopted people to build his own film family.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough to be one of the people he really adopted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's amazing. You got to think about some of the people when you talk about Ice Cube and Regina King and some of the people.
King and Taraji and Tyrese and him.
People that careers that jumped off directly from the art that John produced and created,
ridiculously,
man.
especially like Taraji. Like when I first met Taraji, I was like, oh, that's the sexy girl, that's the pretty girl from Baby Boy.
From Baby Boy, yeah.
So when I approached her, I had that mentality, not thinking like Chicago, like I was trying to be all. And she like, nigga, I'm not front. I'm from motherfucker. You know.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, whoa. So
Word.
Taraji had this, I guess, this thought about me, like that dude he's rude. I forgot how I came off. But she'll probably tell the story better because she's great at fucking storytelling. When she drop her book, whenever that shit come in, it's gonna be great. I just know it is. However it was, when I saw her, when John brought me in for the project Fight for Love, she had never seen me. He didn't say who was auditioning for that part. He loved secrets like that. It's like, I got this dude coming in, watch this shit, and he had worked with me for 4 days, so I could audition with Taraji.
Damn, it seems like he really took a vested interest in you, and he really, man.
John, I got emails as my publicist Michelle is here, but her other I almost said her other client, Rel, which is like a client to me because I always promote Rel. But Rel sent me an email, and it was John emailing him saying, I have a project. This is you and DeRay, and he sent me a picture of it, and it's a project called Brick, which he's been trying to get made for 4 years, you know, maybe even a little bit longer than that. So the project started with somebody else, and eventually he was like, no, I want DeRay to be the lead in this. So that, and he sent me another email. He wrote, I didn't even ask the nigga to do it, but the nigga sent me a email of him writing a sitcom for me. And I was like, nigga, you don't know what the fuck? You can't just write my shit. And I got that one. It's called, what's it called? Something. I just looked at it the other day, though. I was just going through my old, after Rel sent me that email, I just went and looked at my old emails from John. But I'll say that John had a lot of things going on. Like I said, he adopted people. He had a lot of projects going on. He always stayed foot first with what he wanted to do with. As far as me as an actor, he was never comfortable with me being a comedian only. He liked me on stage, comfortable, but he thought it needed to be heard, the voice. He liked voices like that. Some people, y'all might not even know, a girl named Marlo, I think, I forgot Marlo's last name, but hood comedian, young lady, he loved Marlo. He loved Corey Holcomb.
Oh, word.
Yeah. He loved, if you don't remember, if you watch,
funny as shit.
If you watch Baby Boy, there was a comedian in there. His name was Freddie Ricks. I think that's one of the only films he ever did. He was Ving Rhames' friend. He cracked a few jokes in it.
Word, I don't remember.
But he was a comedian, and he loved him on stage, and then he wanted him to, he wanted that to translate differently on film. So that's what John did. You know what I mean? I'm speaking in a way where these last couple of days have been crazy. Like, I ain't gonna lie, since like last week, I've known of it. You know, I was getting ready to go on stage, and then I got, even before then, it just
Wasn't feeling right. Yeah.
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 Even when he had, a little bit of situation before, you'd see John, you'd be like, oh, ain't nothing wrong with this nigga.
Yeah.
He's strong. Other than the motherfucker every now and then would show you he need to put his glasses on.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
That was often now.
Right.
And we all said that shit. Me,
Right.
Tyrese, everybody like, nigga, put your glasses. Because he always thought, the girls looking at me. It's like,
Right.
like when you were little. Girls are into, and but you go to the real part, he wore glasses in all the fucking beginning
Right.
of his career. He got the glasses on.
Every interview you would see him, it was almost like it looked a little bit like the Spike shit because he would have the hat and he would have the
of
glasses.
course. Come on, you know the Spike shit. He knew he had the glasses, shit,
Right.
like it was a fly shit. But then as he got older, I guess that look was going away. So he tried to
It's
not
like,
wear the
yeah.
glasses. But you wouldn't think no was wrong with John like that. And I knew we both would always talk about health because I had heart murmurs since I was young, and we just talk about like health all the time. So I knew he was going through some situation. But then I seen the nigga at Astroburger.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know this ain't on the diet.
Right.
I know this not. He's in the eating game. Just sit down.
Yeah.
Always like that. But I'll say like, but over just hearing about it, you feel like I'm really weird. People always say like I'm not as sensitive as I need to be a lot of times, and I look at stuff like car crashes when things like that happen. Like in a car crash, you're like, boom, it hit, wow, and it hurt. And you're like, I gotta heal though. Like in that moment, you in the car back, you check the airbags, you check your legs, you check how you feeling.
Right.
You know what I mean? And everybody's hitting me like, you all right, because they know we spoke every other day. We spoke if it was a day between we didn't speak, it's because the nigga was on set.
Yeah.
And it be days where we don't agree about everything. You know what I mean? He'll tell me, I'm not gonna have. When he first told me, because I was on Snowfall originally, me and Lauren London were playing the uncle and the
Right.
aunt, which don't matter because the two people are doing it now. They're fucking killing
brilliant,
it.
yeah.
They're killing it.
Yeah.
Eamon is I could not have done what Eamon is doing. No matter, I could search my soul. Whenever I see somebody do something, I know I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Like when I first seen Laz, when Laz we did Jump in the Broom, and Laz, I read for the lead, but I didn't get it. I got the cousin.
Yeah.
And then I seen Laz as the lead, and I was like, I could not have done that.
Right. Yeah.
I'm that nigga. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I could do it better. No. That whatever he did, whatever guy had for him, one, that's what put him in that position. Two, the nigga killed it after guy gave it to him.
Word.
Like guy gave it, then
Yeah.
he killed it. You know what I mean? So I knew when I see Eamon that he couldn't do it, but we were part of the original pilot, which shows that he did. He sent me I got the original pilot as another, he sent it to me, said, read this. I ain't gonna tell you who I want you for. That was in the email. I ain't gonna tell you who I want you for. I'm like, well, nigga, it ain't the high school kid.
Right.
So
right.
I can't play white that good. So on the phone, I play white very well, but. So I know I'm talking a lot of circles because it just
you good,
really
dog.
hit. But it is a car crash, and I wanted to make sure you check on everybody else in the car,
Word.
and then you see the person that's not surviving the car crash.
Yeah.
As I'm imagining, I've never been in one, but I'm imagining that's what you look for. You as you check on everybody, the person you check on that didn't move, and that's where John was. And I was like, all right, my man not moving. Like, what do we do? What do we do to make the situation? How do we got to get him here, get him there, do this, do that? Because you hear about it. When you hear it, that's what it was. It was a car crash like this. Like your buddy's not
Very sudden.
your buddy's not. He's not responsive.
Yeah.
And you're like, what do I do now? Do I stop moving also? Because it'd be that one moment. And I see people do it all the time, and it slows them up incredibly when you got to still make steps forward toward, if you really believe in a higher being. I'm not throwing people under the bus who don't believe in God, which I've heard a whole lot lately, which I'm very disappointed in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Rising
down
trend.
down to my daughter not knowing the regular Lord's Prayer, and she gonna be mad I just said this, but she don't, and I would get whooped for not knowing it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Just the regular.
Right.
Our Father who art in heaven. That's that normal one. That
Right.
everybody say, two boxers in the corner, both
Right.
praying to the same God, and God doing something else. Then I'm handling these bombings, but if y'all niggas want to box, go ahead. I guess.
Right.
Let me bless the person that trained the most. That's what. But I think it was that, and I think that I don't know what the true impact is going to be on Hollywood, because for a minute I thought I could feel we were getting away from that art form, as far as what the stories he was telling. Now, a lot of stories need to be told because there's a lot of new stories, a lot of new acceptances as far as what we're accepting and listening to in Hollywood. But as far as those like true hood stories,
he invented it.
I feel like, yeah, he had a strong part. I feel like art-wise, Spike Lee invented a different angle for you to see it through.
I talked about that on the podcast. What Spike did was Spike brought black artistry to the forefront, right? When you're watching a Spike Lee movie, you're watching high art. You're watching the way that the camera floats around, and you're hearing a jazz soundtrack, and you're watching real people's lives interpreted through the screen in this really artistic. He's an auteur. John put Ice Cube in the movie.
Yeah, but it's not that. It's not just like the Ice Cube thing. You know what Cube was, right?
But I never know. But he made me look at Cube in a different way, because when you're watching Boys in the Hood and you're seeing these things play out, that movie is high art too, but it's high art that's going on in your neighborhood. He's telling the story.
Yeah. So what I mean,
people, right?
So what I mean is, I'm saying like Cube. We know that Cube could do that. Like what Cube did. Let me tell you when Cube delivered something. When Cube delivered is when he did Are We There Yet? Because if you notice, Ice Cube, every now and then, he says funny stuff. Like he'll say a funny line, like little bitty stuff, like in barbershop. Somebody's like, make sure you get them neck hairs. Like, you ain't got my money, I'm gonna get them ass hairs. Like,
right.
real quick. That's quick sarcasm from being around Ice Cube. That's how Cube is.
Yeah.
But you ever notice Cube still remains Cube. Like, he not always funny stuff happen to Cube. Gangster dude falling out of a tree. You know what I'm saying? Gangster dude with little bitty kids. Like, what the hell? Damn. Like,
he's a straight man a lot of times.
But what John did to surprise people was he took Regina from 227, who you were like, this cute little girl, and had her drunk, fucked up.
Yeah.
Snapping on people.
Yeah.
He had, he took somebody nice like a Joe Torre and made him brush his hair, made him a super asshole, which launched him to be in them situations. So he take you way out of yourself. Tyrese singing on a damn bus, and he was like, yo, check this out. Now you got the sweet kids you singing on the bus. This nigga got 2 kids by 2 different chicks.
Even Pac, coming from Juice to Poetic Justice, you know what I'm saying? Like Pac and Juice being a crazy psycho killer, and Poetic Justice to being a multi-layered character and a dude that was falling in love. Like it was stuff, the same
that's
thing.
What I mean. I'll take it like that's what I felt like was the difference. You know what I mean? And him, like, even with all the comedians he worked with and changed how we saw him. Like, or just a weird vision on stuff, man. Black Snake Moan, like things he chose to attach himself to. You know what I mean?
Hustle and flow.
Like, man, like just bringing out the truth. Him, by the way, going with Ludacris and shooting that scene of him hunting, but with his camera. John shot that.
What scene are you talking about?
Ludacris is hunting with his gun in Hustle and Flow. They showed this like he out hunting.
I don't remember that in Hustle and Flow.
He's out hunting, and John is shooting him, filming to find his character.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
But John shot that like just bullshitting
to help him get where he needed to be.
And they put it in the movie. Yeah,
right.
Man. So this moments like that. So it's hard to really
put it all into kind of like one.
I'm still, man. This is yesterday on some real shit. Like the nigga just passed. It's like, going to the hospital and seeing him. You wonder should I have went. Because I last seen him, the nigga was always like my grandfather. I never went to like real, like, I never been great in those moments because I never know what exactly to say.
Yeah.
He probably the first person I've ever talked to, I guess, on a coma. I just don't go, I don't know what's, you know what I'm saying?
It's weird because you go and someone's laying down like that. I remember my grandmother, you go and you're laying down and everybody else seems like they naturally have something that they should do. Somebody got a Bible, somebody knitting, somebody doing they all have a little role, and you like, well, I mean, she's there, but like, how am I supposed to
do? What can I do really? And people say, well, just talk regular, just talk. And they're like, they tell you, they can hear you, and you like, man, it just puts you in
it's hard, dog.
I was fucked up. I can't lie to you, man. I'm still fucked up. It's some weird shit because a nigga was like a real guy, man, a real genuine person who actually cared. One of the only people that cared if I make it in a different light or not. Because, I mean, comfortably speaking, I'm good comedy-wise.
Right.
I do good. And if I don't do the Super Bowl stadium like a Kevin Hart, I still sell my shows. People still want to see DeRay. It's still an acquired taste to want to come see me do comedy. And in that alone is an accomplishment in some people's lives. You know what I'm saying? But now it feels like this nigga applies so much pressure. I have to do something else.
Right, I feel you.
All my thoughts, all my ideas. And when we be sitting down and I'm telling him, he always say, he give me a script. Now just read it. Don't change no fucking words. Because I always change the words. He like, don't read it. Just read it this time. All right, just read it. Don't change shit this time. Because I always change whatever you give me. I be like, oh man, all right. But I feel like, because he loved what he had on paper. He loved where his mind went when he did it. So I feel like I have to do something though.
Wow.
And I ain't feel like I had to do something in a long time. So he's like, and he told me, he's like, if
you feel like you have to do something.
If you want your words on paper, then put your words on paper. Basically, wear your script, nigga. Like,
you feel like you have to do something kind of to pay off the belief that he had in you?
Yes.
Word.
Yep. And I try not to say shit like that because then when you apply that pressure, because one thing I apply pressure on myself is always on stage. I always say I'm the best comedian. I always say nobody funny, and people say what they want to say, but if we go on stage, you do 10 minutes, I do 10. You do 10, I do 10. We just keep going back and forth on new material, shit you ain't never talked about. Not many niggas can go back and forth.
You're the funniest man in the world, you feel?
I feel like the things to be the funniest man in the world, I haven't taken on them challenges yet. Like, I don't speak Spanish, so I can't be the funniest. I can't do, Latin crowds.
Right.
Somebody Latin would be funnier than me.
Right, because they speak in Spanish.
They speak in Spanish. I think, content-wise, I'm not saying I'm the funniest guy. I'm saying that it's very difficult to follow me. Niggas in this position, if they want to sit back, they Van, it's me, whatever, nigga, DeRay, nigga. Nah, if them niggas gonna be realistic, they know what it is. They know what I do. They've seen me, and they seen me do shit out of nowhere. I've seen niggas who didn't talk about certain shit. They're writers, come and see me, and then they talking about certain shit. I'm good like that, no matter what. That's the shit. And the reason I'm saying is I challenge myself. Like right now, me saying this shit, it's a challenge because next time somebody see me, I better be fucking funny.
Right.
Otherwise, you seen that
set the bar.
shit? Seen that bullshit he talking about?
You setting the bar.
Right.
Right.
So I'm saying I've never set the bar with me acting because I've been comfortable with I don't mind being a king of cameos. I didn't mind coming in being funny.
I gotta be honest with you because I was about to say I was having a conversation a couple years ago. Actually, it was longer than that. I remember I had gone to see 21 Jump Street, and I was like, man, DeRay always good for popping up in these big ass movies like that. You always good. Like not the like he's. It seems like you. It seemed like it was you were making a concerted effort to be a part of really big productions. You know what I mean? So,
somewhat, and some of them be who made a potato salad, which I'm still cool with. But my first goal was, it's gonna sound weird. My goals were simple. My goals were be Anthony Anderson first, because he was in everything.
He was
in everything, and I was like, I need to be like that guy. And he said something to me a long time ago. He said something to me on the lines of what he's able to do comedically, and he was proving it by every time.
Speaking of Anthony Anderson, first time he was in a real dramatic movie where people took him super seriously?
The cop movie?
Nah, Hustle and Flow.
Hustle and Flow. But he also
John Singleton, yeah.
Also, was that before the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio?
I'm talking about The Departed. I think it was around the same time.
Okay, but he all could do it. But he also was on the TV show for
Hang Time.
No, he was like NCIS, one of those kind of
for
shows.
Real? Oh yeah, I do remember that. It wasn't NCIS. It was fucking
one of those guys, Law and Order or something.
Law and Order or fucking NYPD, huh? No, it wasn't that.
And I was like NYPD, one of those NYPD, something like that. Yeah,
but anyway, he had a very diverse. Shout out
and
to
I
Anthony,
wanted to be.
man.
I was like, I want to be on that lines of that. When I was doing barbershop and I worked with him, I was like, I want to be on the lines of that. But always with an underline, Samuel L. Jackson. Always with a Sam in Spike Lee movies. Sam in Eddie Murphy movies.
Coming to America.
Sam, I love that. I was like, that's the path. That's of comfortable because the
Sam in Pulp Fiction.
The Will Smith, like that was in my mind. I'm like, yeah, if you get there, at least when I get like comedically, when I get there, like it's some comedians right now, Instagram, I don't care, whatever y'all want, because we have the big thing about who a comedian, who not a comedian. All right, let's say all y'all comedians. Nigga, if you can't do 45 minutes to an hour of your own material after someone just did 45 minutes to an hour of their own material, if you can't do that, then I don't want to hear you a comedian like that.
You know what's funny? Comedians are way more competitive than I thought they were. I'm just learning. I got a bunch of comedian friends. Comedians are like ball players. Super duper competitive.
But let me tell you
man.
what you just said. You made it make sense. See, I always say it's like a sport, but them niggas don't see it like that. What I'm saying right now, they get offended by it. Somebody's twisting their lip as we having this conversation. Somebody going, why we just can't? No, because when I first came out, I treated the comedy like rap. I was like, I'm the best doing it. When a new rapper come out, he don't wait till his third album before he say the best.
He says it in his first single.
First song. Then he say the best rapper doing it. You know, he Kodak Blacking off Jump.
right.
And I'm like, comedy-wise, I was doing that because the things I was talking about, people weren't talking about. The things I was doing, people weren't doing.
Right.
Then I see people doing something similar, and I'm like, that's give my where it come from. I see somebody do a stock joke they think is a stock joke that I wrote.
Word.
I wrote. How good are you that your stock joke? I did a joke years ago. I said,
tell people what a stock joke is.
A stock joke is black man, white man, Chinese man.
Okay.
So I did a joke years ago. I said, your mother's so stupid, I caught her yelling in the envelope. Bitch says she sent a voicemail. That shit is in books. People don't know where it came from.
Right.
When I made that bullshit a long time ago, that's why I knew the salt smile a little bit then stop.
Yeah.
And people all over the place, I don't say LOL no more because now I say salts. It's like, nigga, I'm that. That's how good I am.
Right. That you add to the actual language of it.
To the language of it.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, whatever comedian you are, if you a 15-minute comedian, you're 15-minute, all right, but know where you're at, know where you stand. And I'm saying, comedically, I know where I stand, but acting-wise, I can't walk in the room and say, I want the same money this person gets. I want the same amount of lines. I'll be sitting there reading some lines sometimes. I'll be like, I talk too fast to even say these words.
Word.
I what is it called with submit? Not like submission. I don't even want to go. Y'all got this shit. Like I'm good. I can't do this. I know what I'm good at. I know where I plug myself. And when I'm able to headline a movie and I know I'm prepared, I'll be talking the same shit I'm talking about comedy.
Word.
Then.
Right. Well, how long you think that's gonna be?
I don't know. I ain't Jamie, nigga. Jamie's a phenom. Like shit like that. That's a fucking phenom.
It happened, like, you think about it.
You can't think of nobody else besides Jamie Foxx, who is just so comfortable back and forth, comedically, drama. That nigga's a phenom.
Well, listen, Jamie started, I remember that first movie he did with Antoine Fuqua, Bait, right? That was the first joint that I remember that he was the main. So, I mean, he was in Any Given Sunday, right? And you watched Any Given Sunday and you was like, oh shit, like Jamie Foxx could act. Then he took a couple lead roles and boom, we at the Academy Awards.
And storytelling wise, if you said talk to Jamie, he take you on this. He able to do that same shit in the story. Like I want to see Jamie do it, like the special he did, the comedy one. I want to see him do a special where it's like John Leguizamo did.
Oh yeah, I love those. Like a one man show.
Yeah, But it's not me to ask Mr. Fox what to do. But I'm saying when I feel like I'm at that confident level. So what John would do, his confidence level in you was bigger than your shit. It's like, I'm putting you in the scene.
Damn, do you need people like that in your life?
I'm putting you in the scene with Taraji and who else did the scene? I forgot when I first did Empire. Tasha.
Tasha Smith.
Tasha Smith.
Yeah.
Bang. I was like, here. I was like, nigga, but you just put me in it. They just threw the alley-oops. I'm like, are you kidding me? It took them saying I did good about 4 times for me to actually believe
that you did.
Because we were talking about Taraji, who's just such a breather with acting.
One of the finest actresses
in the
world.
Come on, man. Training people to be And she was like, I see it now, DeRay. I got it. I see what John's seeing. Let's work. Let's get it. When you get people like that telling you, because that was my first time in that where I felt like I was like tiny in the room.
Word.
As far as that going. John was like, no, you got it. You got it. The only thing I was good at every time, any movie I've been in, even 21 Jump Street, was shooting a gun. I feel like I had done that a couple times. No, I'm kidding.
Chicago shit.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. As it relates to comedy.
I did good, by the way, for the John conversation, because for the way I was feeling, I feel like I'm just
my brother.
The world know.
Hey, you hear the silence in the room is because
hot, man. I was up here like
because we were like people were riveted. The reality is that
you know how many. So I can't say this and God get mad at me. You know how many motherfuckers we could trade for John?
I know it's hard, dog. It's
Nipsey. Maybe we could trade like.
But when you think about the 2 losses, and rest in peace to Nip, and like when you think about the 2 losses, these are heavy losses, heavy cultural losses. Nip, not only what he meant for hip hop, but what he meant for the community. And John, man, I remember as a kid, like I was watching this John Singleton interview, maybe like '96. And John Singleton was doing an interview about higher learning, and he was talking to the people, and the way he was talking to the people, he was like, the thing with me is, you come into one of my sets, when you step onto the set, you're gonna know very quickly that I am in fucking charge.
Yeah, he loved us.
And I was like, shit. I was like, you like a king standing there talking like it's like I'm in this is my shit.
The shit he tell you I just got so many stories. I mean, it's like, but this ain't the John Singleton.
I feel you,
bro. But it's like so many stories. I remember I was in Miami. He was doing the film festival. He was just getting ready to do. I forgot what movie it was. Was it Brick? Something. Maybe it was Brick. Maybe it was another film. It was Fight for Love. It was Fight for Love. And they asked him what his next project was, and he was like, Fight for Love. He's like, da-da. He's like starting it. And then I was in the room at the time. He's like, Fight for Love. I was like, yeah. He was like, he saw a name. He's like, Taraji. Da-da-da. I said, and me. And he just heard my voice. I was waiting back. He's like, and that motherfucker DeRay. That nigga starting my shit too. Yeah, DeRay, what the fuck you doing in here? What you up here answer motherfucking questions? You want to answer one question? Like, he just was, this man. He's
big personality. Big personality.
Yeah,
so let me ask you this about comedy, bro.
Yeah.
Because we're going to talk about a lot of shit. We're going to talk about a lot of shit in this podcast that I've been wanting to ask you about. But I want to ask you about comedy. It seems like there are more comedians, and because there are more comedians, things are getting even more competitive between comedians, because almost every comedian that I talk to, I'm going to be real with you, says, just to let you know, I'm the funniest motherfucker in the world.
Well, I don't know who said that to you, but they lying. Who said that? Who said that?
I mean, a guy that I think is really funny.
Tell me.
A guy that I think is really funny that you'd have to put up there. I'm not going to say that he says he's the funniest guy in the world, but he's a... I'm
Is it Chappelle?
No, it's not Chappelle.
Then that's it. That's it. I can't... Chappelle can go up and freestyle right now and he'd be as funny. His confidence is up. How he delivers his material is up. And of course it came after, you seen Chappelle's show, because we knew Chappelle like had the mind state of being a funny motherfucker.
Yeah.
We knew that he had...
So you say Dave is the funniest man in the world?
I'll say Dave is the most able to translate. Like I said, I don't speak Spanish. I think he can
do that
enough where it's going. He don't speak. I don't know if he speaks Spanish or not, but
right.
It's going to translate enough because
right.
It takes his time enough. But once you're in a position of power, meaning like he had his show, he proved himself, he walked away, came back stronger. Like nigga went to the gym, literally and mentally,
because he's huge now.
And then came back, and he's like, all right, this is what I really want to do. So if he did a show again, it would be that show. But when I first seen Chappelle's show, I was like, oh, that's cool. He did the Charlie Murphy stuff. And then he started showing. Then we were like, oh, shit, what the fuck is this shit?
Hysterical, yeah.
Then you want to wait and hear. So I'll say that Chappelle is one of the stronger people. I know Chappelle could follow me. Like, if you start telling me, if we do it like that, like, can I go up and do my best set and Chappelle come after me, regardless if he was in his stats or not? I'll say yes.
You say
Chappelle could follow me.
Chappelle could follow you. What do you when you talking about comedians and stuff? What to you? Because one of the guys I'm talking about who's really blazing his own way. Are you familiar with Andrew Schultz?
I'm not.
You're not. Andrew Schultz, white dude, like he does a podcast with Charlamagne. We're not gonna diss Andrew.
No, I'm not dissing him. He probably don't know who I am either.
Right.
But I think he might. I think he might, and not because I'm so funny. Not because I'm so funny. Right. It's because of what I'm doing now. Because it's like, oh, DeRay, all that motherfucker be talking all that shit. Like in his mind, or somebody talk shit about me, and that's how my name probably came up to him. But it's still circling no matter what. It's still
You're
you know
a famous
what I'm saying?
guy.
No, it ain't the famous. But comedically, it's just that is what it is. I love walking in the room to write no fuck. I love that shit.
Who's the funniest guy to you that we don't know who he is? Speaking of that,
that's a hard one, man.
Funniest comedian that's just working and we don't know who he is.
That was hard, man, because I be around a lot of comedy. I host Mondays at the Improv, so I see people new all the time. You know all the funny people, though. You know what I mean? But I'm talking about, like, realistically, like, who, like, it's always about, in my mind, how creative you are. How many times have you dabbled? Like, how many times have you really accidentally took a joke? You know what I'm saying? In a moment, I have a cousin who fucking hilarious. Every now and then, that nigga get robbed. I robbed the fuck out of him. He ain't going on stage. I'm like, shit, you don't need that shit.
Right.
How much of it is natural?
Is that cool? Like, is that part like
somebody non-comedy?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's what it is.
Right.
I was gonna say, I hate when I say this. You see an old lady fall, and she fall and she start breakdancing. Nobody know those story, but you like, yo, I seen this old bitch fucking breakdancing after she failed to play it off. You like, that's your story. That's part of your life, your story. Like my mom being on drugs and how I want to tell that story, how I see it to make it comedic. that's not stealing. That's my story. I'm still writing from my book, my brain, what I saw.
Yeah.
You see a comedian tell a joke, that's his story. That motherfucker, that's his shit.
Yeah.
And sometimes you might steal from a nigga that stole from somebody. Now that other motherfucker come play. Like,
yeah.
You know, that's why it's best to be original in the situation. So, but I'm not doubting because the comedy you're talking about, like they say funny is funny. It is. But there's certain rooms you go into where you go in certain rooms where your comedy not going to hit as much. If I talk about parents being on crack, people, right, nobody over their mom was on crack.
It's true.
So it's not going to be as funny. The painful part of it, like me saying my mother stole my track shoes and told me to run in my socks, smoking crack. That shit is what make motherfuckers go, because it's a story behind it.
Right, because they can relate to that. Yeah.
Relate to, like, that's fucked up. You see that shit anywhere, that's fucked up.
Right.
But as far as like comedians go, and it's weird because I used to always say I'm the best nigga on stage, and then Dwayne Martin said, stop saying that. He said, people got their own style. For a minute, I was humbling out, like I'm not going to say it, and I didn't feel right not Jay-Z, and I needed to Jay-Z.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I needed to say how the fuck I felt. Like,
yeah.
You know, but you know when you hear some rappers say they the best rapper and you know they not.
Yeah, sometimes people say it and it's credible. Sometimes people are saying it because somebody else said it.
Well, I'll say this then. This is this is the best way that this. One, I try to be the best DeRay I could be. I'm the best DeRay.
That's word.
I'll say that.
Yeah.
That's how you make it where, you know, everybody not mad at you. One.
Right.
Two, all right, now I got to Ali it. There's no comedian more hood than me. No, I ain't gonna say more hood. There's no comedian that's hood, also fucking beautiful, got bitches like me, funny at the same time, on a collective. Even the handsome comics, Bill Bellamy, handsome, nigga married though, can't be out here like me. Be in the club like I be. Who you see more? No,
hey, I'm gonna be real with you.
No comedian live more like a rapper than me. The closest thing to me is a Tony Rock. And even me and Tony go back and forth all the time, and I keep fresher material than Tony too. Yeah. And Tony take his time, and me and Tony, now me and Tony gonna argue for years about this, but back and forth. I've never opened up for Tony. Tony's went on stage before me. Michael Blackson, got to go on stage before me.
Damn.
Gary Owen, I've never ever. Only we did Comedy View.
Wow.
I closed all the shows on the Martin tour. Martin Lawrence hosted. I closed. And I'm not 51 either. That's another fucked up rumor. DeRay is not close to being 51
By the way,
years old.
I Googled you.
And it said I'm fucking 51.
It said you was 51 years old.
That's some comedian out there who want me to be, and look at me. If I am, nigga, I'm a beautiful.
Yeah, the crazy thing is, like, so I'm Googling you to get a rundown, to do research you before you came on there. And I see it, I was like, it says, DeRay Davis, 51 years old, on your Wikipedia. I'm like, yo, my nigga.
We got to
I'm like, yo, DeRay 51?
Yeah, nigga, and I was just driving Kanye around at 51 just because I was an old nigga driving around through the wire. This what I'm saying though. Basically,
so somebody's hating on you by putting your by.
I think it's an ex chick.
That's like fucking with you on.
Yeah,
online.
I think she's like, he not gonna get no more young bitches after this. she all the 60-year-old women coming after me now. But no, I mean, I just like the my passion and going on stage. I do that to spark myself too. So me talking shit about the comics is like, all right, nigga, I like
just make you level up.
I've seen comedians do jokes and I'd be like, damn, what was I thinking about when he thought about that?
Yeah.
I missed that shit. Like, I can't believe I missed that shit. Deion Cole will say some shit. I'm like, the fuck? Like, shit.
Yeah.
How the fuck did I miss that shit?
Yeah.
Or Deion will watch me and he'd be like, and he'd call my brother before he called. I've been knowing Deion like my big brother for real. I've been knowing Deion since I was young. He'd call my brother. I just seen D, he just did a fresh 20 minutes. Whatever he doing, tell him to keep doing before he called me. Like,
word.
But I learned from the greats, man. I got to watch them. But on the Ali shit, I really feel like that. Until they find somebody who, like, literally, the things I just lined up, let's say, it's like boxing, man.
So
it's
say it again.
Hood like you. Know the hood and can converse in situations like this. Know how to use the words converse.
Right.
Didn't know. Shout out to my teacher, whichever grade that is, that teach you how to read. Because me hosting, come on, man.
Yeah. I
got my Terrence J on.
Yeah, you got to hold it. The
Terrence J on.
The hood, the articulate.
When I feel like it, you know what I'm saying. The loves of my life, which I do have, you know, certain situations. I've multiplicity as far as my home goes. You know that already.
I'm gonna ask you about that.
That too. So I have that going.
Right.
That's a loving situation which a lot of people don't have, which I call a plus because two minds, greater than one.
Do y'all know what DeRay is talking about? DeRay has 2 girlfriends.
Not 2 ugly girlfriends, by the way.
No. Wait. Here's the deal.
2 Captain Marvels.
Look up whatever you think ugly is. Think about the fucking opposite of that, and then think about what DeRay's girlfriend. And then there are 2 of them. Like it's really an amazing fucking thing.
Which you try to stray away from because it does dim the light of the talent part.
They're talented.
Because the first thing the talent part for them also and for me, I'm saying for whatever they do, like their lines or things they
they're in the business.
They have their business. I'm saying it dims the light because I'm actually funny, and the first thing people ask me normally, except for you, because you've been knowing me forever, is you got 2 girlfriends. Instead of going, you are the funniest, or something, we're talking about a comedy or something.
Right.
People have brought that up before. I could be promoting a show or a movie, and they're like, so, got 2 girlfriends, huh?
You know why? You know why though? Because that's so.
Because it's on Wikipedia too. No,
that's so out of the ordinary for most people. Not that the situation is, but it's just that it works. I think that if I can jump into what people might say, is that women are socialized in a way to where I don't know any women that would be like cool. That would be cool with.
But we
and most women. I'm not.
But we should be
generally for women.
But those same women you're gonna speak regardless. The same women you speak of.
And I'm not saying that there's anything. I think it's fucking amazing. By the way.
No, I'm gonna say the same. But you're also a man because they're gonna say that's why you feel that way.
Right,
but there's also the women that say that, oh my God, she used to strip and now she made it. She got out that life to do that. I'm so proud of her.
Right.
Instead of back when they be like, oh, she a stripper.
Yeah.
That's the face of stripper used to be stripper, and now it's like she a stripper.
Right.
Like, oh, she was a stripper, and now she does this. Or she exotic dance. Oh, she used to prostitute, and now she does this.
Yeah.
But with this is still womanizing. But that, a woman, you're talking about a woman who
so you've been criticized as being a womanizer?
Of course you would. I mean,
because of this situation?
People don't know that until they talk to them and see they got their own mentality and see that if you're a gentleman in any situation, an honest gentleman, anything you could do. Women love that more than they do a lying, monogamous relationship.
Yeah, they like honesty.
And if they choose to leave, they choose to leave. Mm-hmm. You're not giving a woman a choice if you're lying. You're saying, I love you and only you. Now she thinks she's dealing with just you, and you got 4 other kids, you got 2 women, you got cheating, you coming home with disease and all that. I'm not saying, I'm just saying the worst of it.
Yeah.
If we speak in the extremities of what that entails. But honesty, you would want a woman who comes and says to you, like women used to hide the fact that they did dance. Now we're talking about, which people never bring up, we're talking about a woman who's selling the thing she says is not, I'm just being a woman. No, we're talking about a woman that's selling the thing, like as a dancer, which I go to strip clubs.
We love our dancers. I definitely don't want to. Yeah, definitely don't want to.
No. I'm make it clear. Mm-hmm. I go.
Be there Friday night.
But one thing I don't do is nobody has no pictures of me throwing money ever because I always feel like I'm being disrespectful. And no matter how much the guys make it rain, all the balling guys,
it is tough.
I never do it. I would hand a girl $200, like regular money. I'd be like, oh, good job, like a tip, regular tip, like your art. Mm-hmm. Your art is like, I get it. We're all entertainers end of the day.
Sure.
But me on stage, I'm not like taking my shirt off slowly and there's women giving me all their husband's money.
Right.
And then they be like, and if you ask them, ask the real hustling.
There is no husband's money. You're married, is your money.
I know. Yeah, right. Tell that to Wendy.
Right. Oh, shout out to Wendy. Yeah.
Was it their money?
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Hey, was it their money that he was spending on the other girl?
Yeah, all right. She was there. Right, got you.
I don't play no games. Did we bring up smart in that line of things I said?
Yeah, you said it was right there.
No, but I'm saying though, I'm not, like I said, not discouraging. I'm saying though, but anything that's acceptable, which if I'm accepting that, I'm saying that's what the hustle is. I get it. If you walk in that place, you know you're gonna get hustled. If you walk on a car dealership, a used car dealership, there's a chance you might get hustled. Yeah. But that car, the guy selling you the car, not like, it ain't. He like, oh, I feel bad. I sold the car. You're like, hey, I got sold 2 more today.
Yeah.
If all this stuff is becoming acceptable, and we're adding blank pages to the Bible, filling them in ourselves. I know that's. I don't know how deep that is to you, but
I get it.
Basically, so I'm saying, as far as things being acceptable, what I'm living has been acceptable way, way longer than everything else we're accepting.
Well, I think that, number one, I think that any situation where someone's healthy, happy, and living their best life should be acceptable. And I think that, but
we're always going to judge, no matter what.
We're always going to judge, but we should also judge. We should use our judgments in the appropriate way, right? Like
how though?
Meaning, if it's not hurting you, why would you judge it? Get some business.
I know, but the weird part about that is we're talking about judgments coming from people who will never see their faces.
I get it. So
enough of those social media people hit you. 1 million people with no faces say something.
I understand how it could weigh on you, but I'm saying this.
No, not on me.
Right.
It's 1 million people with no faces say something, and then there's one person with a face that read that 1 million and say they're a powerful person and go, this ain't right. Y'all right. This is not right. I gotta agree with it because with the proper force in any situation, it shifts people. Like no matter how you try to.
Right.
You got 100 people telling you there's a shark in the water, more than likely you're not gonna get in that water.
Sure. So
I'm saying we living in that world. What my whole thing is saying that it looks unbelievable and it feels unbelievable most of the time.
But it's just regular.
It's regular to me. But I'm willing to put up with all that bullshit because I'm that good.
Right.
It feels that I feel that happy.
I guess the only thing I'm saying is really shouldn't be no bullshit. Y'all happy is y'all business. Live and let live. To be honest with you, I'm going to dap you.
I heard a woman the other day that say she want 2 men, but the only thing is men way too sensitive.
Men, you feel like men?
Hell no.
Men could not handle that.
Hell no.
Men could not handle the situation. 2 men. So wait. So you're saying you can handle the situation with you and 2 women, but if there was one woman and she wanted to have another,
I couldn't because I'm saying like this: women take credit for a lot of things that they're right about. So one thing that y'all right about is y'all smarter than men, you're stronger than men. I'm accept it. So
that's true though.
So being that said, y'all stronger than me and I can't handle it.
Also, women bring a lot less toxicity into these situations because of what the male ego does.
And it depends on which kind of women you're around. Because I know I've talked to women, they be like, I wish I would. I've never done. And I'm like, that's not the kind of woman I date.
Yeah. Right.
Because a woman's not comfortable with, not just saying, I'm not going to use my situation. A woman's not comfortable. I don't have gossipy situation. We don't do that. Like if we talk about some shit, it's like some real like, oh shit, you seen that shit? Like me joking with you about the Wendy shit, but it's never like, did you know she looked at another guy? You know, it's never that.
So this is but your last thing we'll say about it, this is a completely happy, healthy, polyamorous relationship, you and your 2 lady friends.
I'll say that I'm very comfortable, and I hope realistically inside, deep down inside, they're just as comfortable as I am, because I wouldn't want nobody to be around me if they're not. So for what I'm feeling, from what I get from it, from the love I get, from the way it feels, from the good nights alone,
right?
Just the good nights. Some dudes be in a monogamous relationship and don't even get a good night from their girl. I mean, I'm getting a good night, like, bye, babe, like, you sure you're okay? Like, even with this John situation, they're like, you need anything before we go, so you all right? Like, that's that friendship part first. It's a strength, you know what I mean? For me to look at.
Are they friends?
Yeah, very much so.
Okay.
They love each other.
All right, word.
They love each other, man. It's like this. This is how I see it.
God damn, this
you can't be around. Look,
Jesus
you
Christ, it sounds amazing.
Look, you can't be in a situation. Look. You can't be in a situation of love at all without being accepting of all things that come with it, the good and the bad. Like, you know what I mean? It's like if they were looking, I'm sure they look at handsome guys all the time or pretty girls. I don't know. I'm not that guy no more. Yeah. Like, who y'all looking at? It's like if I see them uncomfortable, like a guy trying to flirt with them, I'll make it known that, hey man, they are all right. You know what I mean? But as far as like they might like other guys, I don't know. This is not. I wanted to be my place, but there's so much I got to do, man. It's like so much of stuff I got to do. Because I know my mind, people ask me, do I have a wandering eye? Yeah, I'm looking. I have people that I know care about me for years in Chicago. Girls are like, that been around me for years. Yeah. They're like, why am I not your girlfriend? You know what I mean? I'm sure that exists. Yeah. You know, because there are girls who I've known since high school I still like, you know what I mean?
Right. Well, I want to ask you something.
That made no sense, I know, but
it made
trust
sense.
me,
let me ask you,
a little bit.
Let me ask you a question about the clubs.
Did I mention that I don't make sense in that all those great things I said about me too?
Right. So
name another comedian that don't make sense like me.
Let me tell you something. When I go to the clubs, the rare times that I'm there, you know who I see there? DeRay.
At the table, posted.
At the table, posted, generous, come over, have a drink, table full of ladies. Not a lot of guys at your table.
No, not at all. Hell no. Hell no.
Not a lot of guys at your table. Question, because you're 51 years old.
Thank you.
I
remember back in the Cotton Club days.
Right.
fuck are you talking about?
Back in the Studio 54 days. Is there a point where, and this is something that we have all the time. We talk about it.
The cutoff point.
Is there a cutoff point, a point to where you too seasoned or old to be up in the club?
I thought about that till I seen an older guy next to me yesterday at Poppy, and he was getting it. He had to be like 65 years old, all white hair, surrounded by situations, and it looked fun. So I know his back is hurting this morning because I don't know what kind of back pop he was doing. But I don't. It was weird. My club age kept going up. I was like, I'm gonna stop at 24. I'm gonna stop at 30. Stop at 33, and I didn't. You know what's weird, man? I just didn't get old.
You know what's crazy? Is I think
I don't Beijing, by the way. I don't
at all.
None of that shit.
So you know gray.
All my butter. This might be some in that motherfucker somewhere, but there's some right here. A few coming in now.
I think that there's no age in the club in L.A. I think if you were to go to Baton Rouge, like I'm from Louisiana, right?
Nah, Baton Rouge, you kidding me? Louisiana?
Not my nigga. You can't be.
You playing, nigga? Walking up the street, you walk up, motherfucker. Nigga, you like tell me go down to Bill Street. You see an old ass woman pass down the street.
I know, but they partying. But like in the clubs like they have in L.A.
Yeah, you ain't gonna get no table for right. So you think I'm be 75 with some young 55-year-old bitches around me?
To be honest,
I might.
It's a dude that I know go to his clubs. Shout out to Sal. It's a dude that I know, big time dude. He old as his daughter being there with him. Like
who else you want to party with?
Like his daughter, his daughter being there. I'm not hating on it at all. But people always say, "Is there an age you should be out?"
You got a time if that keep you young. Whatever you like doing. Only things that you get too old for, the thing you can't do no more. You know, some people that's too old to horseback ride because you might get thrown off that motherfucker.
Right.
To bullfight, you might be a little too old for that shit. You can't dunk no more. That shit goes away. You know what I mean? But as far as standing in the club, listening to music, might get too. But I don't see. There's nothing. You get too old to eat fucking McDonald's cheeseburgers 5 in a row.
Let's be honest with you. You know what? The reality is that it all really depends on who you are because there are old guys that you will come into the club and like it would be like. You'd be like, oh, he's too old to be in the club.
What was in that, by the way?
Coffee.
That's it?
Yeah, why?
Because some alcohol's coming out of your skin.
Get the fuck out
from
of
yesterday.
Ain't no alcohol. I wasn't out. That was
yesterday?
That's you.
Did you drink yesterday?
I didn't drink at all. I'm on my healthy shit. I'm not
you ain't
drinking.
Drank nothing?
I didn't drink nothing.
Well, see, you may be too old for the club.
Right. Listen, to be honest with you,
if you ain't drank shit, but you sweating like me, and it's just tequila a little bit.
Right.
That's coffee coming out of you.
To be honest with you, the reason why it's not I'm not too. I don't be doing shit.
You're stuttering a lot. Right
I be
now.
in the club just chilling, drinking, talking to my friends.
You sound like every dude who gets in the police station with the light on. I'm like,
I just be chilling in the club.
I didn't know he was.
I don't do anything. So it's really like a social gathering. And to be honest with you, unless you live in LA, you don't understand that there's currency in there. That's where you see people. Yeah. That's where you meet people.
It's the. I've told somebody it's the new golf club.
Oh, for real?
You go there and somebody be like, well, come to the studio tonight. Somebody, I ain't expect to be on an album.
Right.
Like we recording tonight. That happens a lot of times.
How did you end up doing the Bernie Mac voice on the Kanye shit? Are y'all familiar with this? On late registration, like on college dropout.
College dropout and late. I did both of those.
Right. So and how did that end up happening? We going back in hip hop history, but I'm just asking because like I never got a chance to talk to you about that. How'd you end up doing that?
Cootie, the director, Cootie and Chike, Cootie hit me up, was like, yo, we at the hotel, Kanye out here. He's like, we're going to the studio. He's like, come by, go to the studio with us. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm just going, Kanye's the album, they're doing the thing on MTV, anticipated artists or whatever they used to do, artists dropping, I forgot what the show was called. So I get to the hotel room, huge hotel, Kanye even in there working, he's still working on stuff. I'm just in there. And he's like, yo, did you hear Through the Wire yet? And I'm like, no, I haven't heard Through the Wire yet. I'm like, no, I ain't heard it yet. He's like, all right, we're going to play it for you. We get in the car. Put in the CD, bang. And I'm like, oh,
crazy
shit.
As soon as you hit a sample, we in for it.
So I did the whole without an arm, I spit.
Without an arm, I spit. Yeah.
Then we get to the studio. They in there. They're like, man, he's not returning. I think it was Bernie. It was like, either Bernie wasn't returning the calls. He was too busy. And they were like, basically, you want to do some intros, want to do some skits on the album, just skits. So I went and I did a British voice. I was fucking horrible.
Right.
Like, just horrible. Welcome to Light Straight, whatever the fuck I sounded like, mixed with British and all kind of shit. I don't know what the fuck it was. And I just started bullshitting. I had never done a Bernie impersonation ever.
You know what's weird? It's like when you first did that, I was like, yo, Bernie Mac was on that shit. My brother was like, my nigga, that's not Bernie Mac. And I was like, that's not Bernie Mac. He's like, you can't hear that's not Bernie Mac.
Motherfucker thought it was said Bernie. I'm like, what's wrong with you, Kanye? All that shit. But then I went and I did it, and he kept it. He thought it was. They thought it was dope. They kept it. Then
Set the tone for the whole album, dog.
Huh?
Set the tone for the whole album.
Then I did all the other shit. Just came natural. All other shit. All other voices.
Like you did the that's you on the These Degrees?
Yes.
That's you.
These degrees keep me warm. These
degrees.
And I did. Hey Jimmy, where you going? I don't know where I'm going, but my dad died.
My dad died, and all he left me was his
these
degrees. Yeah.
I did that. Then that's when. Then the next one, that blew up. Of course, that blew up. And then the next one, that fucking that broke. It went crazy.
The Capitals was mad at y'all about that, man.
Broke.
The Capitals was mad at y'all
Is that a Kappa?
I don't know. I don't think it's. But I know that like some of the Capitals where I'm from, they thought that Ye was taking a shot at them.
How? First of all, let them niggas know I've never been to college. So my only college reference was School Days, Spike Lee.
Right, word. Like I remember they was on the radio.
Ain't got
like,
no money.
We about to play a song by
Ain't
our favorite fake Kappa, Kanye West. I was like, interesting. Like, but I feel like maybe they thought that maybe.
I don't think Kanye would be a Kappa anyway.
What do you think Kanye would be?
I don't know, not a Kappa.
Yeah, you still fuck with Kanye?
Yeah. Do I mean musically, like as a person?
Yeah, he's as a dude.
I think that everybody grows up in different, you grow up again, like you grew up once.
Sure.
And we get to the point where we at now.
Mm-hmm.
Then you might get like him getting married. He grew up again. Kanye actually 3 times. He grew up with his mom, he made his music. Then he started kicking it. Then he got real cool. He had the Amber situation. They look like the new, looks like the hit couple. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
it was a big fucking deal. Yeah.
That was fire. He brought fire. Like they brought fire to, not disrespecting no relationships there and now.
Yeah.
But they brought fire to like, oh shit, this could be some fly. We back. I can't think of who was like a Prince type of thing to me.
That's precisely the way we had Amber on here. It looked like Kanye. It was Ye, and it was this weird. Ethnically, she looked like a piece of art at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Like Prince, and it was like I think he grew up then. I think, and his mom passing. I think within that, then he went in depth through his heartbreak or whatever happened with them. However that happened, it just felt like the music felt like that. I don't know because I never asked the niggas a heartbroken. I never asked nobody that. I was like, you all right? That's it. That's how niggas ask you whether you hurt or not. You all right?
Right.
So and then the Kim thing, which I know he always had feelings like for Kim in some kind of way, and then wanting a family. Wanted to give his mom what he thought she would have wanted, regardless of the fact. And who else do you date? You got that kind of money. They got that kind of money. Who else do you date? I mean, people always say, why you dating people for money? But you don't want to date nobody super broke.
Right.
You carrying people forever. You want to, even if you date somebody broke, you want them to be ambitious.
I heard you talk about that before. One time we got you out of TMZ and you were like, you have to watch out for some of these girls in LA. Because you think that they got a lot of bread, and then you get to their apartments and they share. You remember that? He was like, y'all don't know, these girls is bunking up. Mm-hmm. They sharing the master bedroom.
They got pallets. You never know, but the same thing with men.
With the men, it's worse with the men.
I wouldn't expect.
It's worse with the men.
Even now, this is gonna sound weird, and we already talked about the dance line, but even now, I can't see what's Tiger Baby Miles. I know what's
Black
Angela. Black China. I can't see Black China dating a bum ass nigga.
She wouldn't.
Why would she? I cannot see. You're not gonna see Mariah Carey dipping down to the colleges to pick up some 22-year-old. No, you're not gonna. It's not. It doesn't fit.
Why do people have such an issue with that though? Why do people feel like that people feel like there's some virtue in dating someone that's not at the same station?
You got a lot to lose, man. I mean, you could date somebody and push them towards is what I do. Mm-hmm. Push them toward wanting their own money. Push them toward letting them know I may not always be here, and I don't mean just like death, but you got, in spirit, love might fall out. Then what are you going to do? And I love you enough now to give you this advice now that if you were dating somebody else and told me you were living off somebody else's money, I would still tell a girl to get their money.
Yeah.
I give my daughter money, lump sum, just to watch her blow that shit and be like, yo.
What's she blowing on?
From Chicago, but like mostly food. I ain't gonna lie to you. Food and bullshit. Like, I can't lie, man. She
just goes through it. I want to ask you something. You're a comedian. I told you I have more comedian friends, and now shout out to Andrew, shout out to Donnell, shout out to all of these guys.
Donnell's hilarious.
I'll be honest with you. When we have these conversations about the funniest comedians, I feel like sometimes Donnell's name is not brought up.
Donnell's funny.
Donnell is fucking hysterical.
When I'm not there on Mondays, Donnell would host for me, and I'm comfortable sleeping.
Yeah.
Sometimes people be hosting for me, and I don't know what's gonna happen with the room.
Right.
Donnell's in my top 10.
He's fantastic.
Donnell, Donnell's top 4 to me.
I'm gonna get your top 10 later or your top 5.
Only because he really still don't give a fuck, and that's hard to
Doesn't
find
give a
out.
shit. He does. But I'm about to ask you this. So this leads into my question. With comedians at this particular point, I'm hearing from these brothers and these sisters that I know that it's getting harder to do comedy because of the culture.
Yeah.
Because
Not the culture, everybody talking about movements.
Right. So do you feel that? Do you feel like in some way people's movements is like hurting comedy? Like we can't, it's comedy in danger.
I think if I just want to do comedy, if someone just wants to do comedy where Donnell does, I don't know if his focus is on just doing his own lane.
Yeah.
No, Michael Blackson, no, I don't think it affects them at all because that's not, I don't think that Michael Blackson, and it's going to sound weird, Michael Blackson got all boys too. His kind of comedy ain't going to affect her. He can't talk about, you know what I'm saying, my comedy when I talk, the bitches, hoes, so when I do that, I rarely say hoes, by the way. Say bitch a lot because when I'm saying in the conversation, I'm like, so I tell her bitch, like that. But me saying, or directing it towards somebody who's acting in that manner.
Yeah.
But if you watch it, it's a way that I do it, but it's been trained. My sisters, everybody trained me how to, this ain't
And
just
you think
me
that there
overnight.
is a difference between referring to somebody as a bitch or saying the word bitch and using bitch as an insult, as a put down to a woman? You think that there's a difference?
Always.
Do you think that women feel that there's a difference?
Hell yeah, because they say it. They do it.
Interesting.
They do it all the time.
Do you feel that
it's my bitch right here? We going my bitch? Oh, look at stupid ass bitch over there. Like it happens all the time.
But do you think that that's kind of like the N-word thing? To like where we call each other the N-word, but that doesn't necessarily mean that white people can say it?
Of course they can. It's certain.
White people can say the N-word?
I say of course they can.
Oh.
it's certain.
You feel like the N-word
it's like Latin. It's like the Latin people who call it, like they probably can say certain things. It's just like if a gay guy wants to call another guy the F word now.
Right.
That word was it was all in movies. All this was all in movies, by the way. Which is weird because if you separate the art, why is the art not separated in every instance? Why is the art just separated when I'm up there voicing myself as a comic? But if we go back and look at a lot of the favorite rappers who I loved, they said them words all the time. All the time. Or movies. So in a movie, a white person can say it because it was written on paper.
Like a Quentin Tarantino situation.
You can say it, right?
Yeah.
But me, I write my jokes on paper. So if I wanted to say something, I can't, which I just lied. I don't really write, but
right.
somebody who does sit and write because something's wrong with me. But if someone did sit down and they write down a list of jokes, or you write down for somebody, or I'm sitting with somebody and they're writing my jokes and we're going back and forth over what my jokes are, it's still written. So why am I going on stage to perform my art? But what if I go on stage and perform my art in a different look? I like what Whoopi Goldberg.
That's what I'm gonna ask you, because what I'm saying is what people would say is if I'm reading the N word or the F word or wherever out on a piece of paper as a character, it's not me saying it. When you're on stage, you're DeRay Davis.
Right. So what? But watch it now. Let's see, because this is real deep what we're doing, because there's not, unless somebody make up a book of real rules, which we should probably.
There's no rules.
No, but we could sit down and write this book, me and you. You're joking, but we should do it like what they do with math. If so what they say, like X divided by Y, if not Y. So we should do that.
Yeah. It's funny actually.
No, not funny. We just said we're doing this, so now we've just said we're doing it. So we just wrote that right now. No, the guilt. No one could do it after we just did it right now.
He's actually doing business on the podcast.
I'm saying no one can, because we already said it. So if someone does it after us, then we would be able to sue them because they just try to do our rights. But we can't do that.
That works.
So now getting into it in the depths of our book.
Okay.
If you as a black person who sit here and read someone said, and they said the N-word or any word, you read it. If a white person had a podcast and someone said the N-word and they're reading off paper, then he said, this nigger, you're still going to get mad at that white person for reading.
Sure.
But all they're doing is reading the transcript.
That's happened to me.
But I'm saying they're reading the transcript. So at what point does it, you're not allowed to say it at all? Now, if you're saying not allowed to say it at all, what if I'm in court and the judge says, you have to repeat exactly what they said?
Right. I get it. I mean, I get it. I think that this is my thing, and that's why I asked.
We talked about the sensitivity part. We're going real deep with it right now. Bottom line is,
that's what we get deep on the red pill. I think this is my question is, do y'all, when you're sitting down thinking about comedy, do you think about who you're going to offend?
Now,
I'm just asking.
I think of the, speaking of Donnell, he has the Donnell too soon.
And I think that's brilliant.
He'd do it. I'll say that some things are too soon. I'll say that I don't want to. I'll say it depends on who. It's really crazy because like who you're around and they know what your intentions are. I think when you're around somebody, they know your intentions is not taken the same way. And this is a very small thing. Let's say an old woman walks past. She's someone's grandmother. We don't know who she is, but she got a big booty. She's someone's grandma.
Yeah.
No, we know she's someone's grandma. We don't give a fuck who grandma is.
Right.
Damn, nigga, look at the ass on that. And her grandson like, hey man, what the fuck you looking at?
Right.
And you like, nothing. We were just.
Yeah.
Now your boy think it's funny.
Right.
You think it's funny, but that dude don't think it's funny.
Because he's connected to her.
For instance, which is not funny, but this is real, how I was really thinking. So last 2 Thursdays ago, I forgot what Thursday it was, what the day with the Monroe College, I was supposed to do at Monroe. I had a college, and I've never missed a show in my entire career. I take a nap. I wake up. I'm dizzy. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? The room's spinning. I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck? I try to walk to the bathroom, can barely walk. The room is literally like this. Text my road manager, yo man, something fucking wrong. He a nigga, he right back, drink some water. The fuck?
Pray on it.
Pray on him, like, drink some water. I'm like, nigga, I just drank the fucking water. I'm not doing well.
Right.
I text my agent, I say, hey man, I feel weird. He said, you got 2 hours before the show, DeRay, just lay down. Because I'm always good. He's like, you good. You're always good. Come on. Right. He's like, you want me to call downstairs? You want me to call downstairs, make sure you're all right? Call downstairs. I said, yeah, but we're in fucking Monroe, Louisiana.
Oh, shit. I went to college near there.
ULM.
ULM, the University of Louisiana
Monroe. So
I went to Tech,
but I'm
so
like,
right down the road.
I'm fucked up. Congrats on that, going to college, by the way. But I'm fucked up, and I hit him. He said, want me to call somebody? They ain't got nobody to call. Ain't no medic there. Ambulance. So they come. I'm fucked up. I'm like, nigga. And all I was thinking is, damn, I can't die today. It's Nipsey's funeral. No one's going to give a shit.
Damn.
I'm like, I can't, like, no, like, Nipsey's so important that I'm like, I would be hating on his legacy
if you die.
If I died. So I'm like, hell no. I'm like, figure me out. And I'm telling the person who's a kind guy, I don't remember his name, but he's being nice. I'm like, bruh, whatever it is, motherfucking, keep it to midnight. Like, if I'm, no matter what, because
I can't go today. Yeah.
And my boy's laughing at me because but anybody else would be offended that I'm thinking I'm dying. And I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
And he like, nigga, you know how funny this is that you care more about
that. Yeah, that's like, it's not only funny, it's fucking remarkable when you think about it.
I care more about Nipsey's
right, not jacking his moment than your own health.
I'm like, fuck that.
You're like at 12:01.
They gonna call me a hater. They gonna say DeRay hating ass. And I was like, yo. And he was like,
you realize that people would say that? People would
Yeah.
be like, man, it's just like a nigga like DeRay to go when we trying to say goodbye.
Yeah,
brother.
I was like, fuck that. I was like, whatever I need to do, I hope. But in
Rest in
our
peace,
moment, but my mother, nobody thought it was gonna be. Nobody thought it was funny. They're like, what are you talking about?
Right.
You need to go to. I'm like, yo, I'm thinking more about that. I'm like, what medicine? What? I'm like, fuck. Like, just keep me up to whatever. I was like, I won't be the one who, because it's a man. You talking about a legacy. So we thinking that's funny when somebody else. Oh, this was somebody else. We're laughing at shit. Somebody else in the hospital was like, what are they laughing about?
Right.
And they're in the same place as me. Like somebody else is like right in the bed next, in the room next to us. Like, what the fuck is funny?
Bro,
they're like, my mother over here, someone's mother, like, my mother over here fucking sick. Why is they laughing in that motherfucker?
Bro, I had a panic attack one time, and I was in the hospital because of the panic attack. They brought me to the emergency room, and I'm down there in the panic attack. And there's a girl in the bed next to me. And this was her like 4th or 5th time in the hospital because she had some sort of operation and the shit kept going bad. So whatever staples or stitches or whatever she had,
it was rejecting.
It wasn't working, right?
Yeah.
And she was in there and I'm all fucked up thinking that like I'm like, yo, man, my heart rate's all over the place and blah, blah, blah. My mental state's all fucked up. And then like her parents and her friends get there. I can hear her. Because it's like just a curtain. I can hear her, and the next thing her parents and her friends get there. And her dad goes, you mean to tell me you ain't dead yet? Like he's like, and then you can hear her laughing and crying at the same time. And her mother's like, yeah, you're fucking tough like a tank. Right. And like they all laughing and having and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, yo, man, like what the fuck?
Even better than that.
Right.
You better not have laughed. You better not have laughed at that. Something funny.
Yeah, right, exactly.
They're like, what the fuck you laughing at? You don't know her. You know her?
It's true.
You know her this funny to you, brother? This funny? It's like, y'all just laughed at it.
Right.
Bruh. That's what we're talking about as far as like the whole, like, how soon is something, when is it all right? When is the jokes? Because people got jokes from way back, from old tragedies that happened that we talk about it now, and it's 50 years later and people still sometimes. I do a joke about one of my brothers took his life, and I talked about people taking their lives. Like, literally on stage, I'm like, you gonna go. I'm like, motherfucker, the fuck you, what? Why are you so sad that you gonna, and I'm in Peoria, Illinois. I do the show once a year. It's like my 4th year doing it. And I said, why are you so sad? You in the mirror? I said, only ugly people kill themselves. Like, one of my jokes. I was like, handsome people get in the mirror, they're like, nah, this gun don't match his outfit. Like, and it's
so bad.
These 4 people got up. And
that's so bad.
These 4 people go out.
Oh my God.
Or I say stuff like, if you want to kill yourself, think you're going to kill yourself, masturbate first and see if you still want to kill yourself after that.
You don't want to do anything after
nothing after that.
Yeah.
So anyway, the whichever one of those jokes, these people got up and walked down. She wrote me this long ass message saying, I was having a good time. I got disgusted by DeRay. My son was severely depressed. He took his life. I thought I was going to the comedy show to feel better about it. And I'm like, first I wasn't going to write shit. I rarely reply to that kind of shit. I wrote her back a DM. She had posted that, and I wrote her back a DM. I said, hey, by the way, this is how I cope. My brother took his life, but this is how I cope regardless of what's going on. I said, I apologize. I'm sorry that he was going through so much pain, but I always think there's another way out. I say it on stage all the time now. Colleges, I say it on stage because where they're most stressed. I'm like, and I'm joking about it because what other way to get to it without sounding like a motivational speaker than to literally joke about it, to make you laugh about it a little bit first.
Right.
Everything that happens painful in your life by somebody trying to fix you, someone tries to make you laugh first.
Right.
All the time.
Yeah.
The doctor, it ain't gotta be that. The doctor try to make babies laugh before he's sticking with a needle. Everything is, I'm not saying like as a joke, but in reference to a joke, there's a parallel to a joke and people trying to make smooth things while something that you're
trying to bring you out of the
Your
doldrums.
grandma give you I don't know if you ever had castor oil.
Yes.
And what they give you after that? A piece of candy.
Yeah, for sure.
So the joke is the candy before the castor oil. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's like, let me talk to y'all about like death. Like motherfuckers is dying. Don't nobody here better kill yourself. Y'all all look real good to me. Turn the lights up in here.
Right.
All y'all look good. Oh, maybe not you. And you talking to a real confident you can read the room. It's the quarterback. That nigga like, fuck out of here.
When she said that to you, did you feel bad in any way?
You feel bad, but how do you tell somebody that no matter what you're telling me, my thought process on death is going to be different than yours? And how do I tell you not to grieve either? I can't, whatever. I lost a fan no matter what. I still lost a fan, I'm sure in that, regardless of me and her. If I sit down with her and we eat and I can make her laugh,
right.
I could say this is what I was trying to do.
Bro, let me tell you something, man. I'm going to be real with you, bro. You're an insightful dude, man. You're an insightful dude. Like, there's a lot of stuff happening right now. There's a lot of stuff to be made fun of, and I am concerned with something. And I'll get your thoughts on this in closing.
Yeah.
I'm concerned that because the stakes are so high, and when I say the stakes, I mean when we talk about President Trump, when we talk about things that are going on in the world, just even. It seems like the fate of the world is in the balance with every single problem, right? With who's in the White House, climate change. We have
in a different order, but yeah, climate change first,
right?
Then the White House,
then the White House,
because the way it's been feeling lately, man,
it's getting weird. And then we have so many people that are looking forward to and trying to access their rights. Black people are speaking up, women are speaking up, LGBT people are speaking up, everyone is speaking up, and everything is so serious that it seems like gradually, and I'm a victim of this too, I get mad too, I get upset too. It seems like we're losing our ability to laugh. We're not laughing as much anymore. We're not having as much fun anymore. It seems like, and I'm as big a victim as this as anyone else, as soon as somebody else sees someone having fun, they go, uh-oh, can't have fun with that. Like, how do we reel that back?
I don't think we passed that. I think comedy is so the Incredible Hulk that it could, at any moment, the gamma ray could hit and it could just be like,
yeah.
I don't think it's. I think somebody's got to stay. comedy's never, our foot is never not on the gas. I can't think of a time where, I mean, you can fuck around and slow down, but I don't think it's ever not on the gas. I don't think it's ever like where I'm going to just let some shit go, you know, unless they put some rules on it. Like, you can't say this, can't say that. I get it. Like, some people get offended, some people don't, but the offended people are the same people who used to go tell the principal in school. They used to go tell me, we used to laugh at them all the time. The motherfucker going to tell and shit.
Yeah.
And if you remember, all you people that are really getting offended, if you can recall that the funniest person in the room most of the time was going through the most stuff. The person who was most loud in the room didn't really want to, was the most shy motherfucker. And we forgetting that. So when you standing up for somebody, you might be standing up for the wrong person. Instead of figuring out what's wrong with somebody or why somebody said something before you dog them, then you become the bully.
Yeah, got a lot of shit we gotta fix. Where can they find you, bro? Like, tell us what, tell us where you're gonna be, what you're gonna be on, what you're gonna be doing.
I'm getting locked up for a few years for some things.
Are you now?
After all the shit I was talking, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
If you could donate some money to the DeRay. Man, always on social media, I always say I'm gonna be at DeRay Davis, DeRay Davis. So, also about this podcast, anything that I said that I talk real fast sometimes. I talk real. Sometimes I don't know exactly where my thoughts are going from John to everything. So anything you want to say to me, I'm very, very cool with going back and forth with you until I could get
that was DeRay saying he'll roast your ass if you.
No. My way of saying is, if I was not understood, I'm willing to get to a point where you do understand me, because I don't speak all languages, but I do want to be understood.
You're willing to do the work.
I'm willing to do the work.
And
talk to me. I want to hear it.
A lot of people aren't.
And that's how I'm gonna stay being better. Did I mention I listen as being one of those things I'm good at?
Oh my G. That's not.
And the best thing about DeRay Davis,
that's super important.
The best thing about DeRay Davis, tell you this, man,
What?
is my modesty.
Jesus fucking Christ. Hey, hey, we out of here. Hey, y'all give it up for DeRay, man.
Thank you.
Give it up for DeRay.
All the people on the top up there. What's
yeah,
up?
Everybody up in the balcony, whole situation.
Ex-bitch
and stuff
section.
like that.
I'm sorry, ex-young lady. Just want to make. Yeah, it's really me. I made it.
Hey, we got to get on this book. All right, man, we out.